All right, our next exercise here in CSS coding, it has to do with CSS classes. I'm going to show you what they are and show you how they work in this demo, and then you got a little bit of work to do. You got to try them out. Right now, as I'm recording this, there's nothing posted on Google Classroom, but there will be. This handout will be posted on Google Classroom by the time you're watching this movie. So it tells you how to create what's called a CSS class, and I'm going to show you. It tells you what you got to do, how you have to apply a class in an HTML document. Okay, so everything is on the handout. Plus, if you just watch this movie through to the end, you will see it. And this handout will be on Google Classroom by the time you're watching this movie. It's not right now. Also, you'll have a link to some code that will, it's about fruit. It'll be on Google Classroom as well. It's not at this moment when I'm recording, so I'm just going to go ahead and click this, and then I'm going to remix it. You would have to click the link, view code, and then remix. All right, so here's what we've got. Let's look at the HTML here for a second. There is an H1 heading at the top that says fruits. There are H3 headings that have names of fruits like apple, orange, grape, and on down. And then on each one you have a paragraph written about that particular fruit. And you can read it if you'd like, because you'll just learn all kinds of interesting things. Right now, the appearance of it isn't terribly fancy. If we go over to the style.css, and I'm going to pull over my page a little bit here. Don't want to pull it over too far. There's a comment here that kind of describes what I want you to do. At line number 5 on the style.css, there's a comment that kind of talks you through this, but I am also about to talk you through this, so that's just there to help remind you. And there's not very much happening here. There is a rule for paragraphs, and so you'll see the paragraphs following this rule that they are, if left alone, they are black and they are sans serif in the font family, and the background of the page is gray. All right, so let's take a look at writing classes and how you use them. Okay, so you're going to have to write a class for every fruit that's on there. Apple, orange, grape, banana, blueberry. And the big thing that you have to do and to get the points on this assignment is you're going to have to use some color that goes along with that fruit. And so I'll show you how to do that. Now, a class is different than writing a regular rule set. Here's the first thing you know. The first thing you need to know. When you're writing a CSS class, it starts with a period. So the first thing I'm going to put is a dot or a period. And then it is wise to name your class for what you're going to use it for. Like, so the first one I'm going to do is going to have to do with apple, so I'm going to call it apple. Now, when you're naming classes, you cannot start with a number. You can't have any spaces. You can use dashes or underscores. It's best to have it one word, but if you're going to have a two-word thing, use a dash in there. Let me get my cursor out of the way. I don't think I'm going to use, it's not going to be a two-word thing for me, so I'm just going to call it dot apple. That's called a class. Now the next thing I would do is a set of curly brackets, and I'm going to split those curly brackets like always. All right, now we get into, now this next part, this is writing some style rules just like we kind of have been for a while. So one of the things I have to do, I either have to make like the background color red or the text color red. I gotta do something that would go along with, for apples we're going to use red. I know that there's green apples and there's yellow apples. I get it, I understand, but for apples in this assignment we're going to use some form of red. All right, so you could kind of do it however you want to. If you just want to say color red, you could do that. Now nothing's going to happen over on the other side where you see the actual HTML text. Nothing's going to happen yet, so don't panic about that. That's okay. So yeah, I might say color red, and you can add in what other things you want. Maybe do you want like a border? Maybe I'll do a border style solid and a border dash color of, well, I don't know, maybe just, I don't know, I'll just make that black. I'm just throwing in some ideas. You could, a background color. Do you want a background? Let's do a background color. Why not? Background color, something in the I'm going to use the color picker here. I'm going to just select that Alice blue. I'm going to hit the lightning bolt and make it just kind of a, sort of a grayish. All right, and again, notice nothing's happening over here on the right hand side. That's coming. All right. So this now it's a set of rules that is called Apple. This is called a class, and it has certain things in it, right? Okay. Now, boy, how to proceed? We could go make the Apple thing happen, or I'm going to show you another one. I'm going to go ahead and write my class. It's called a class. I'm going to write my class for orange. So I'll go dot orange. Remember, classes start with a period. They start with a dot. Okay, and I'm going to put curly brackets there. And again, now you write a little set of rules here, and at least, we've got to use some orange, right? That's my requirement of the day. You got to kind of color code these things. And you know what? I might, instead of just saying color orange, I might say background color. And I got to take that extra. I got an extra color in there now. All right, so that's better. All right, so I'm going to say background color orange for this one because it just has to have some orange in it. And then do whatever else you could copy and paste, right? If I decide, well, I think I'm going to use a border. I want to use like a border. I could take these commands up here, copy them, paste them down here. If I want a border style and a border color, that's copy and paste would work. Okay. And then I'll write one more. The next paragraph over there is grape, so I'm going to say dot grape, curly bracket. And again, we're going to have to use some purple of some kind. And again, I know that there's different kinds of grapes. I get it, but let's use some shade of purple for the grape. All right, so I'm going to say color purple. I think I might say background color light gray. Semicolon there. And it's up to you. Do you want a border? Do you want to change the font family? You write a set of style rules that you want. So see, I've written 3 of this. Is how you write a class. Now I'm going to show you how to use it, and I'm also going to show you, I know that I haven't done banana and blueberry yet. All right, well, just stick with me here, and I'll show you the end of this, okay? But this is called, I'm on the style.css page, and this is called a class when it starts with a dot, and you have a name for it, and then you put in your rules that you want. So I did one for dot apple, I did one for dot orange, I did one for dot grape. Now, why would we even do that? Here's the thing. See up here, there's a rule for paragraphs right here, and it says if you're a paragraph on this index.html page, you have to be black and sans serif. Color's black, font family is sans serif. But then I've written these classes that have some other rules, like other color rules and border rules and things like that. All right, so here's what we do now. I'm going to go to the index.html, and anywhere I want to, I can do this. Watch, like for on the H3 heading, I'm going to do what's called applying a class. I'll click right at there by the number 3. I'll hit the space bar, and I'll just say class equals and quote. And what did I call that? Was it apple? All right, I don't have to put the dot in there. I can just say class equals quote, and it finishes the quotes for me. So you look closely at what I wrote there. It's right after, it's inside the H3 tag. Look at it. Look. It's right next to the number 3. I hit the space bar. It said class equals quote apple, and then code.org closed the quotes for me. And look what happened to that heading. It just got that styling. Okay. Now for the apple paragraph, I can do the same thing. I can come right here after the P, click right after the P in the paragraph tag, space bar, class equals quote, what is it? Apple. Look. So I look over there at the HTML, All right, look over there at my preview window, and now that paragraph has that apple styling that I set up. Where did it get that? Well, it got it over here. Here's the rules that I made: color red, border style solid, border color black, background color. And you don't have to do it like me. You can use different. You do have to use red in there somewhere, right, on this assignment. But you see how that works? Now, catch this. This is why classes are useful. This paragraph where it says class equals apple has changed its appearance. Did the other paragraphs change appearance? No. Well, so what this means is that you can have paragraphs on the same page that all look different if you apply a class to them. Like this paragraph right here is a member of the apple class. All right, well, let's go down here to orange, and right after the H3, I'm going to say, right after the 3, I'll hit the space bar. I'm going to say class equals, and quote, and ORANGE, and it closes the quote for you. All right, so look at it. Look at it. Look how it does it. Class equals quote, orange quote. And if you look over at the sample over on the right, all right, it's doing the things. When I put it in that class, when I make it a member of that class, it's doing the things right now, like that heading is doing these things. The background color is orange, the border style is solid, the border color is black. Cool. All right, so let's go back over to the index.html and let's continue this process. Let's go to the orange paragraph, click right after the P, spacebar, class equals quote, and it's going to be orange. And look. So now that paragraph has all of those attributes, all of those characteristics of the orange class. Let's go ahead and do grape. I'm going to roll this up. All right, I'll click at the right after the 3 of the H3 for grape, hit the space bar, class equals quote, and I wrote one for grape. Close quote. Now it's closing quote for me. And see, it's doing, I didn't write that much for grape, right? Look at what I wrote for grape over here. Color purple, background color light gray. So as soon as I told it, okay, I want this H3 heading to be a member of the class called grape, then it got all those characteristics. I'm going to do the same thing to the paragraph right here. I'll click after the P, I'll hit the space bar, class equals, quote, grape. And it's working. Okay, now, in order to finish this assignment, I would have to, over here on the style.css, I would have to create 2 more classes. This is the scope of the assignment. You have to do all of them. You have to do the banana and the blueberry. I didn't do it in this demo, but I will show you this. Let me just go to a different version of it. All right, now this, it's not going to look exactly like what I was just showing you because it is a slightly different version. But over here on the style.css, if you look, here is dot apple. Okay. Here is dot orange. Here is dot grape. Roll this on up. Here is dot banana. Those are classes. Those are called classes. And here is dot blueberry. So on this one that is done, it's like I just hit the fast forward. This one is all done. I have all 5 of those classes written. They start with a dot. They have a name, curly brackets, got all the rules in there that I want, right? And then over on the HTML, you can see it. You can see where I said class equals apple, class equals apple, class equals orange, class equals orange, class equals grape. And then down here, class equals banana, class equals banana. What classes allow you to apply a set of style rules to, they don't just have to apply to a paragraph, right? I can use them anywhere I want. I can use them right now, like this blueberry class, I'm using it on an H3 heading and I'm using it on a paragraph. So classes can be applied to any HTML element you want. And it also makes it like, for example, if here's a paragraph that looks one way, it's yellow, and here's a paragraph that looks different. It's got that blue to it because it's blueberry, right? So even though those paragraphs are on the same page, they can look different because I've used classes to help style them the way I wanted. So again, just summarizing, what you have to do is you're on the style.css, you're going to have to write a class for every kind of fruit: apple, orange, grape, banana, blueberry. Make sure that for apple you include some red, for orange you include some orange, for grape include some purple, for banana include some yellow, and for blueberry include some blue. Other than that, the exact rules that you use are up to you. Do it how you would like to do it. But then you also have to go over to the index.html and insert those statements right here. For example, right here it says class equals orange. Class equals orange, because that is how you apply the style to the certain parts of the page that you want to apply it to. Well, that's all I got. It's time for you to jump in there and try it. All right, these are called HTML, or they're called CSS classes. That's what we're doing today. All right, off you go.